Welcome to the Dog Liaison Podcast. I'm your host, Jenna. On this podcast, we like to get nerdy in understanding dog behavior and cognition. So if you like science, you want to know the why behind why your dog does what he does, and overall you just enjoy deep diving, then this podcast is for you. So let's get into it. Thank you all for jumping in. I really appreciate it. So this story comes from Team Rover. Now, for some context, Team Rover joins the RRP in September, and they started on October of 2021, so about 9 months ago, okay? And I remember talking to them when they first joined, and they were like, Jenna, we get married in July, and we really, really want Rover at our wedding. Now, the thing is, Rover has pretty severe hyperarousal disorder. She gets very overwhelmed, and she has an entire episode on our podcast that you can listen to if you're interested to really hear all of her history and all of her experience. But the gist is that she became very overwhelmed in public, and being in a crowd at the time would have been very unfair to Rover in October of 2021. And when they told me that they wanted to have her at the wedding, my initial thought was, okay, like, I think that is a reasonable ambition, but at the end of the day, only Rover can tell you whether or not that's something she's game for. And I didn't really think, I expressed to them that I didn't think it's fair for us to just necessarily like obligate her to it, right? And confine her to like, this is what we're going to accomplish and this is what you will do. So they were very understanding. They were really great. They were like, we're not going to force her to be at our wedding because that's just unreasonable, right? But we are going to like strive for it and see if she's willing. When they graduated in March, Rover had made incredible progress. I mean, incredible progress. And at that point, it really did seem like, okay, maybe she's going to be able to go to the wedding enough for the photos, right? Like she can just basically be away from the crowd, and she won't necessarily have to be in the heat of the everything. And by March, we were looking pretty optimistic that she was going to be able to be at the wedding enough for mom and dad to take photos with their dog, which is what they wanted, right? And we were super excited. We're like, okay, we're going to keep going forward. Like, this is really promising. We're headed in the right direction. Well, my friends, Team Rover's Humans got married on Sunday. And not only was Rover able to take photos with mom and dad during the photo cocktail hour, not only was that possible, which is already incredible enough, but Rover walked down the aisle despite the fact that they had like 150 guests, walked down the aisle with her aunt, met her mom at the end of the aisle in front of all the people, gave her Humans kisses and loves, and then stepped off to the side for the ceremony while her Humans got married. This anxious girl, literally when I heard this, I started crying. I was literally like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I can believe it, but it's just so incredible that I was like, what? This anxious girl who became so overwhelmed by noises and by smells and by people and has a hard time being in these really rowdy environments, has been so open-minded to learning. And her Humans have worked so hard in implementing the right protocols, the right steps to studying Rover, that they made this possible. Like, there's just no two ways about it. Team Rover made that day possible. They put in the work. They put in the studying required to learn Rover. They pulled that off so that Rover could be safe, feel safe, going down the aisle at a wedding, like a quote unquote normal dog. I can't even tell you like how excited this is. It's just so impressive. They were, of course, able to get photos of Rover during the ceremony. They're going to send them to me when they have them. I think I'm going to put it to a frame and put it on by my desk. And here's why, guys. Because as a coach and as a person who has dedicated her life to supporting dogs and their mental health recovery, this is like everything I've worked for in my life. Like moments like this is what I strive for. This is why RRP exists. This is why I am so diligent with studying my clients and studying their dogs and helping them, because I know moments like this are possible, and I just want to do everything I can to pull them off.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dog Liaison podcast. If you did, it would help us tremendously if you subscribed to the show, left a review, and or shared with a friend. You can either post on your Instagram stories, make sure you tag me if you do, or send it directly through an email or a DM straight to a friend, letting them know, hey, this episode really made me think of you. Info on how to work with me and the Dog Liaison team is linked in the description box, or you can go to getacalmdog.com. We look forward to having you in the next episode. Until then, give your dog a treat for me, and we'll talk soon.